Now, in the speech, the previous speech, we had discussed about the fact that there was a kind of a thought that was coming in Bassanio's mind, that whether those pieces of praise or the words of praise that were done, or you can say the people applauding, here the people refers to the people who were actually standing aside, whether they were actually meant for them or not. And therefore he was telling that he was in a state of confusion, and unless and until that is ratified, confirmed and signed by Portia, he will be in a state of doubt only. Then Portia says, "You see me, Lord Bassanio, where I stand, such as I am." Now she says that you are able to see my position, and the same I am a kind of. Though for myself alone, I would not be ambitious in my wish to wish myself much better. Now, what she says here is that if you are talking about me, I am not a very ambitious person, meaning to say that she was trying to explain this fact that she was not very ambitious for herself. That means she was explaining this thing that she was quite very satisfied with whatever she is having, and therefore she was not at all interested to wish for herself something better than whatever she possessed. Now, basically, if you are talking about the wishes or the ambitions, rather, she was actually, if you talk about Portia herself, she was a lady who was actually a person well versed. I mean, you can say a well-to-do kind of a person, full of riches, full of virtues, values, characteristics. Moreover, she was no lesser to any person in the world. And if you talk in terms of her royal life, or you talk about her riches also, her wealth also, her property, she was a you can say, settled kind of a person. So therefore she was not at all interested to be somewhat far better than what she actually was at that position. So therefore she says that I'm not very ambitious for myself, and to wish myself much better. That means I do not wish for myself anything better than what I am right now. But she says, yet for you I would be treble 20 times myself. That means, but for your sake I want to be treble 20 times myself. What do you mean by treble 20 times myself? That means she wants to be 3 times more to whatever the position was of her at present. That means, if for example she was, say for example, in terms of her characteristics only, whatever she was right away, she wanted to be 3 times more of it. Why? What for? Just for the sake of whom? For Bassanio. So therefore she says, I would be treble 20 times myself. That means she wanted to improve 320 times herself. That means 1,000 times more fair. She wanted to be 1,000 times more fairer, and fairer as compared to what presently she was. And she wanted to be 10,000 times more rich as compared to what her wealth and property was. Only to stand her in your account. Now, what does she mean to say is, why she wanted to be like she wanted to increase everything that she had, her wealth, her riches, her property, or you can say her beauty, everything. Why? What for? It was only for the sake of Bassanio. And that's why she states also very clearly that I just want all these things to be improved and increased just for your sake, and so that I stand high in your account. High in your account means that so that I stand high in your eyes. The account here refers to that I want to stand high in your eyes. That means I want to have a good place in your eyes. That means I want you to have you should have a good place for me in your eyes. I might in virtues, beauties, livings, friends exceed account. Now she said that if you talk about, or if you're talking about my virtues, my beauties, my livings, or my friends, I might be exceeding in everything. You might feel that I have everything in excess, or in everything in ample quantity. But she says that, but the full sum of me is sum of something. Now she says, but if you talk about me, the full sum of me means, but if you talk about me in totality, she's saying that if you're talking about me in terms of totality, the full sum of me is something but the full sum of me is sum of something, which is to term in gross, that is to term in gross means to tell you in totality. That means she's actually trying to explain over here that if you are talking about me, I can be explained in totality as an unlessoned girl, unschooled girl, and an unpracticed girl. Now, basically, if you are talking about these three words, unlessoned, unschooled, and unpracticed, they actually meant that she was actually a girl or a lady who was actually having no education, no experience, no knowledge, and no practice at all of things. But that was actually not the case with Portia. She was not of that sort. But here she is actually saying all these things so as to tell Bassanio that I am actually in front of you. She is actually comparing herself to Bassanio and saying that in front of you I am an unlessoned girl, an unschooled girl, and an unpracticed girl. That means she was trying to underestimate herself in front of Bassanio, saying that I am an unlessoned girl, unschooled girl, and unpracticed girl, and therefore she says, happy in this, she is not yet so old, but she may learn. Now what she says is that but she is happy about this fact that she has not grown so very old that she cannot learn new things. And then she says, happier than this, she is not bred so dull, but she can learn. Now she says that I am also happier for this fact that I have not been brought up in such a dull manner that I cannot learn new things. That means here she is talking about her capability, that she is capable of learning new and more new things. And the best of all, that is happiest of all, is that her gentle spirit, that means if you are talking about herself, she is committing herself to yours to be directed. That means she was in a way going to be directed, or you can say instructed, or she will be like guided under the guidance of Bassanio. So overall, why is she comparing herself to Bassanio is here, if you talk about, she's saying she's an unlessoned girl, unschooled and unpracticed girl. Why? Because she was actually trying to tell Bassanio that I might be, or she feels herself that I might be an unlessoned girl, an unschooled girl, and an unpracticed girl in front of you if I compare myself to you. But here I'm actually committing myself. That means when I'll be there when I'll be there with you, I'll be there as a wife of yours, then I'll be getting to learn many more new things under your guidance and support. So that's what she says, that I'm actually now going to commit myself to be directed under your guidance. As from her lord, her governor, her king. Now she regards Bassanio as her lord, her governor, and her king. Now basically here you can say that this was actually again a virtue of Portia only, that though she was actually a very rich lady, and moreover her characteristics and her virtues, her you can say livings and riches, they were very very high. But then too, she was regarding herself to be somewhere very lesser to Bassanio. Why? Because she was actually very respectful towards him. So that's why she was in a way trying to show her respect, love and honor to Bassanio. That's why she says that I'm over here as an unlessoned girl, unschooled girl, unpracticed girl. I am over here going to be now guided and directed by my lord, my governor, and her king, to whom she is regarding as the king also. Myself and what is mine is to you, and yours is now converted. That means now she says myself and what is mine to you, and yours is now converted. That means she is trying to say that everything that belongs to me and whatever belongs to me has now got converted. But now I was the lord of this fair mansion. That means till now. But now here means what? Till now I was the lord of this fair mansion. That means this fair palace, master of my servants. Now she is saying that I was the master over my servants. And then she adds saying that I was the queen over myself. Queen over myself means that I was actually the one who was ruling over here, and nobody else was there under whom I was guided, or nobody else was there who was actually giving me instructions. But now she says, but even now, and even now means but now, and even now means till now, but now. That means till now, that means till the position they haven't got married. But now, that means now as soon as they are going to get married, the house, that is this house, these servants, and this same myself are all yours, my lord. Now she is actually trying to explain this to Bassanio, that all the things, all the servants, the mansion, everything has now got converted. Converted to whom? To that of Bassanio. Now she says, further saying, I give them with a string which when you part from, lose or give away, let it presage the ruin of your love and be my vantage to exclaim on you. Now she says, I give them with a string. Now she says, I am giving them with a string, meaning to say, the very moment she gave a ring to him, saying that this is actually a ring from my side to you, to give an assurance. This was again you remember that she was actually asked by Bassanio to be signed and ratified. So this was in a way kind of an assurance given from Portia's side with the help of that ring, that she has given a ring to him, and said also while giving the ring that which when you part from, that means if you are going to part or separate yourself from this ring, or lose the ring or give away the ring, then let it presage the ruin of your love. Then let's assume that it is actually a ruin of your love. Ruin means the destruction or your end of your love. That means she is actually trying to explain over here that by chance also, if Bassanio loses the ring in any of the circumstances, then he must assume this fact very well, that their love has actually been ruined. And be my vantage to exclaim on you. And then he says that be my vantage to exclaim on you. That means, and then be very well prepared that I will now get a vantage. That means I'll get an opportunity to exclaim on you. That means to accuse you, to blame you for the loss of the ring. Is this clear? So this is all about here in this particular speech. Portia has actually confirmed these lines which were actually said earlier, that as doubtful whether what I see is true, and unless and until it's confirmed, signed and ratified by you. Now this is the kind of ratification and confirmation that is given by Portia's pride with in the form of a ring. Is this clear? Fine.